Are you currently starting out in investment banking or planning to start out? Then this video is going to be very important for you. People do get into investment banking, but they find it very difficult to sustain in it. So when I started out as an investment banking analyst, I was promoted to IB associate in just 3 months. This is not because I was good in sustaining, it is because I understood about the industry. I had mentors who helped me understand how to stand out as an analyst. And in this video, I'm going to share 5 points how you can also stand out when you start into investment banking. So let's get onto the screen and discuss each point in detail. So as we can see over here, most analysts work long hours, but a very few are able to stand out. This is because they don't have proper understanding what is needed to grow in investment banking as a career path. So each of these 5 points will help you build a base of how you can also leverage investment banking analyst as a position to grow very long in your career. Point number one, master the fundamental. So as an investment banking analyst, this becomes a very crucial point to start out, because in investment banking industry you are never going to get away from financial modeling, valuation techniques, industry analysis, presentation making. These are the core skill set which will be there at every point of hierarchy. Either you are analyst or you are director in the company, you are going to have a view on financial modeling, valuations, industry research, presentation, because you are always talking to the client related to these pointers. So to master on these fundamentals, when I started out in this industry, I was already aware about financial modeling and valuation techniques. So these 2 points already gave me an edge amongst other analysts because of my knowledge about these 2 pointers. So whenever you are starting out, make sure that you have done some courses or some projects related to these 2 points. Talking about industry analysis, I had worked on some of the industries as well, gathered knowledge related to it. To work on industry analysis, I would suggest that you start reading out newspapers where you can get industry insights of what is happening in particular industry. You can follow some of the stocks in the market for a particular sector and see what are the changes happening in those particular companies. Finally, presentation making. This is also one of the most important skill set, because you will be working on a lot of presentation related to businesses, related to finance, and storytelling through presentation becomes one of the most important skills over here. So as we have mentioned, don't learn on the job, get ahead before day one. So that's what I had also done. I was already aware about financial modeling, valuation techniques, which gave me a leverage among others. And I started working on my industry analysis and presentation making skills when I got onto the job. So that way I had a grip on my fundamentals, knowing that they are always going to stay with me in this entire course of my career in investment banking. Point number two, communicate like a pro. This becomes the most crucial point in investment banking, because communication is everything. If you are able to communicate things in a simple and easy format to people, you are definitely going to stand out as an analyst. For investment banking, you need to be clear in your emails whenever you are sending out to clients or your seniors. What is it that you want to point out? On your calls, you need to be clear, because if you're talking to your seniors, they won't have a lot of time to hear to you. You have to be able to put your point in minutes and not take elaborated period of time while you are having a discussion. And finally, be clear in your decks. This is a core skill set that we had discussed in previous point, that while you are working on any kind of presentation, you have to be very clear in what you are trying to communicate, and it should be very simple and crisp, because people who are looking at these presentation are not from that particular industry, and they have to understand what you are trying to portray through your presentation. If you want to have a look to how investment banking presentations are created, there's a link in description from where you can download a template which will help you understand and work on the presentation. So the next point comes confirm instruction and next steps. Whenever you are assigned with a particular task, you have to confirm that what is needed from you and be clear of the expectation that one is setting from you, and always be communicative or the next step on when is the deadline, when to be follow up with someone. So that will help you be on your toes whenever a work is needed to be done. Finally, update seniors proactively. Whenever you have worked on something, go to your seniors, showcase your work and get feedback on that. This will help you create a image of yours in the mind of your seniors. Do not wait from them to ask about some particular work that they have assigned you. You have to take actions and you have to showcase that you have worked on it before your deadlines. So the main point over here is that your seniors are busy. they have a lot of other things to do rather than just working on the execution part of things. Make their life easier by being a proactive person who is working on things before time, and they will value you more. So main thing in investment banking is that your client should be happy, and for that your work should be very precise and very clear, and should be able to deliver on the timelines. Next point, ask smart questions. So investment banking is an industry where you are working with some of the greatest toppers of all the institutes. You are working with very smart persons, and here you cannot have a simple question like what should I do next, or what do I need to work on. You have to take a proactive action to it. Ask, here's what I think next, and is that okay? So this will help create an image of yours in the mind of seniors that you are someone who is proactive on things, who is giving suggestion on what needs to be worked on, and not asking questions which are very silly in nature, and you are putting your perspective to things as well. Ownership and thinking, that's what analysts are hired for. So here the word analyst also suggests that you have to analyze and think about things. So that is what the main work you have. You have to think about things what needs to be worked upon, and give your suggestion to your seniors. Next point on this is take ownership of small things. The first point over here is manage timelines. This is one of the most crucial. So as we discussed earlier, that giving the work to your clients on given timelines is very important, because you have to keep your clients happy. And if you are an analyst, you have to make sure that the work you are working upon has to go out to your clients on the given deadlines. So if you are able to do that, if you are able to take ownership of that, you are definitely going to stand out amongst others, because there are a lot of deals going on in the investment banking companies. Tracking on these things becomes very difficult. Track versions of pitch deck. Now this is also very crucial. So when you start working on a pitch deck, initially you are working on it on your own, but going ahead you have to take feedback from your seniors, implement those feedback in your presentation, take feedback from your client, implement those feedback in your presentation, and that makes a lot of version of the original ones. So track that presentation which is the final one, and which has all the feedbacks implemented into it. So here having organizational skills matters a lot. So for me, when I used to have these kind of problems, what I did is that I had a client folder initially which said about ongoing clients, where all the ongoing clients were mentioned, 1 2 3 4, whatever number of clients that I'm working on. Then every client had a particular folder. In that particular folder I had folders for all the deliverables, like a financial model or a presentation. Now in presentation I had all the version tracked. So the original file would have a org in the end and v0 in the end. The next version which I send out to senior would be, let's suppose, v1. If the next version is sent out, it could become v2, and the next could become v3, and similarly the version goes on, and the final would have a final dot in the end, which will help me get understanding of what are the presentations that I've worked on, and what I need to send out to the client as a final file. And the final point over here is double check the numbers. So this point discussed about presentation and pitch decks. This point is about financial model which you are working on. Similar to presentation, your financial model will be going out to your clients, to your seniors, for taking their feedback, and you have to keep a check on the numbers that are changed in the presentation. And finally, when the final file goes out, check all the numbers, or the alignment is proper, all the reference check is proper, and that will help you be precise in what needs to go out. So that was about taking ownership of small things, so that whenever things go out from your end, they are all checked up and to be trusted upon. The final point that you need to take care as an analyst is be curious about the deal. So as an analyst, you are at the lowest level of the hierarchy in the entire investment banking company. You are working on the entire execution part of the things. But along with that, you need to also have an understanding on the deal part of the things, like where is the deal currently. So main point over here is don't just do the task. Understand the why behind the deal is being considered. So you can ask and have a conversation with your seniors. How is the deal going on? When you send out a financial model, ask them about the feedback from the client. What are the feedback from the client? Did they like it? Did they not like it? Take feedback from your seniors consistently. Ask your seniors what are the next step on the deal. If the execution part is over, can you help in the next part of the things, like talking to investors or having client meetings attended. so that you are being seen as someone who is curious in the deal and can take things forward. So that will create a picture in your seniors mind that you are someone who is a proactive person, who is ready to take responsibility, who is willing to put up actions and things in place. So you can understand about the client more, you can understand about their industry, what is the deal strategy, which are the investors that the deal is being pitched upon, what is the feedback from the investor on the deal part. So when you start asking why the client matters, that is understanding about the deal, you stop being a task executor, which most of the analysts do, and start being a deal maker, which is the real tag of an investment banker. So that way we discussed about the five fundamentals that you need to take care when you are starting your career in investment banking. So standing out isn't working more, right? It's working smarter and being more valuable. So when you do these things, you become more valuable to your investment banking company, and the seniors won't let you go out, and you will be taken into consideration for the promotions as a priority. So that is it for today's video. If you find this video valuable, do consider liking the video and do consider subscribing to Encoding Careers for more such insightful videos. If you want to understand in detail what do investment banker actually do on the execution part, check out this video which will help you understand all the five key roles and responsibility of an investment banker. Until then, this is Karan Damania taking your leave.